predefined the segments,
Okay.
and then we just map it to some common thing.
Non-item and question answering is good enough, I think.
Totally.
Okay.
Can I have a follow-on question? For the interactive challenge, is it expert novice or just novice?
It's just expert.
I would also say so.
For the first year.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing you have to consider at ACM Multimedia is that
Everybody's an expert. Yes.
well
No,
but
they're an expert in something. They're not going to be an expert in that.
but you have a challenge session in parallel to 5 other things.
But we can make a challenge session in parallel to a welcome reception in the Guinness Storehouse if we wanted to.
No,
Yeah.
We have control.
You-
we
you
cannot
can
run this in the
advertise
Guinness
that.
Storehouse.
Why not? We have control. Completely, 100%.
It makes
about something else.
but also it makes things
It
complicated.
can be a dry event.
A dry run.
In the
In the
Guinness
Guinness
store.
Storehouse.
You're digging yourself deeper. You're
I have flashbacks of Bangkok when the drinks came early, you know.
We call it LRUI, Lifelog Retrieval Under Influence.
Was it Bangkok?
But
when
if we
drinks
want-
came early and,
No.
I'm not
we-
sure if it was.
Greece.
Huh?
Greece.
Was it?
No,
VBS.
Bangkok.
I don't know.
Bangkok has no drinks for VBS.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Bangkok had no drinks in a
Dry.
banquet either. It was a dry conference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bangkok?
The drinks
Bangkok.
came
And
afterwards.
then yes. In the Irish pub.
All right, let's focus less on the dry please.
But if we want to get the community enthused, we have to do it as a general ACM multimedia something, right? If it's in a workshop in the Hyatt Parallel Hotel,
Yeah.
it's the biggest room, and there's loads of other stuff happening at the same time, nobody gives a damn, it's just us.
But the question was experts and novices, right?
Yeah.
And experts is good enough, I think.
Because experts
Okay.
will be there.
Yeah.
So now,
The
yes,
experts have to
okay,
be there
I'm
with their
gonna
systems.
ask you the question. Put yourself in the middle of the conference next year. Okay, there is a grand challenge session. We'll be involved in a grand challenge session somehow, right? How do we enthuse people to get involved next year if we don't have a session, an actual competition?
So 1 year later, you mean?
I want
2026.
2026. How do we get people involved?
I think in the past the VPS community was very much interested in all the additional competitions, like also AVR4P, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
So-
you're
The
talking about something
problem
else.
with the core VBS community is that it's running out of capacity. So now there's
That's
already
true.
3
That's true.
things per year, and people are
Than ever
kinda,
before.
Oh, I don't have the time to do
So
anything.
not only time, you have to keep in mind that in Europe, fundings are getting cut everywhere, including the Netherlands. So travel is
Can
going to
we-
be increasingly
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
Travel money, just like, and because of sustainability and so on, some
True.
universities are limiting even how many conferences. For you, probably, like Sweden kind of started. Is
We-
it Norway? But
Ireland's
Sweden-
talking about it.
Norway has cut a lot.
We could also do it offline. I mean online, virtually.
But that would kill lots of the vibe, you know. So,
Look,
So, Pavel, you would suggest the novice session to get new people involved in the community, is that right?
excitement.
Because I would suggest that we have just the expert session, but then we also specifically have like maybe
But
a
the problem is, if
demo
it's
session?
expert sessions, we're all gonna be not taking part in it, right? That's
Yes.
the problem. We
But-
basically cut our community in half.
yeah,
Right,
but
back to
somebody
where we're
has to build the system anyways, right? And
Yes.
so they should
So
be
how do
there.
we make it easy for people to build systems? What support we give? The challenge with Tien's guys, for example, is that your guys have to work with one of the existing systems on top of it. How easy? If we want this to be big, how easy do we make it for people to take part? It's already a big data set, right? It's already difficult.
So there are 2 parts that you are talking about.
Lots.
You are talking, one part is how to involve new people to kind of
Yeah.
join, and the other one is how to make it more appealing at the conference.
It's the same thing to me. If we make it appealing, we attract new people.
Yeah, so that
One is a subset of the other. Because so how to get people to do it at the conference? Make the same types of tasks in the offline and in the online thing. So then all the people who built something for the I had all my algorithms run against this. Might as well bring the intermediate results and slap some basic UI on top. So all the hard work is already done.
Right.
The former, I have no idea. Just make it an interesting task.
But I think if you allow novices, then it puts completely different requirements on the user interface.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is
This
the
makes
add-on
things so much
work
harder.
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think
I can build something I can operate. I
Yes.
cannot necessarily. If I need to build
Okay,
something
I
anyone
get
can
that.
operate.
Yes.
Can I just show the other one? So do we? So this is another one now. Is the really point to win that, or just to have enjoyable experience for everybody? I think probably
But-
second
Well,
one
first-
is more
for
important.
instance,
Some people
multimedia.
are
And I
very
think many
competitive.
people would like to try those systems. If
What?
people come there, imagine seniors from our community. They are like going to be, oh, they want to sit there and try. And students probably, oh, what is this thing?
No,
Let's
if
try.
you participate to a grand challenge, people will. The substantial fraction of the people who will participate to a grand challenge in the classical sense will be in it to win it, not to just have a good time.
I agree.
But what if the plan of that is there is the expert session in the actual challenge session, but there is part of the demo session
Yeah,
where
there's
all
like a
the
new demo.
systems participating are
Yeah.
there,
And a pseudo competition.
or like
I wouldn't even
specific
frame it
area.
necessarily as a competition. I would suggest just having a sort of an open demo where people can try out the systems.
but not just like interspersed somewhere, but a specific
Yes,
area
yes,
of the
absolutely,
demo,
absolutely.
which is
Group
the
And
lifelong
ideally
challenge.
with the experts there to explain the systems and
But what I believe, what I think actually it's really fun also for novices that join there, colleagues, audience. You see, why this is very interesting. I think I noticed first time that kind of effect in Iceland in 2017. Jan Soborov came from NIST, and I don't think he's seen this for a while. You know, I think he was involved from early track weeks, and his task was there, and yeah. So he was really, oh my god, I think we should make all benchmarks like this, you know, like this is like Olympics, you know, like but only for nerds, you know, and it was like, no, do you remember? Like,
Remember,
Yeah, but no.
Yes, but Trek does
SIGM
does still not do that. and I mean, he's still running Trek, so
The
he could have if he wanted to.
the reason we're still here is because SIGM want to replicate VBS/LSE and ACM multimedia in some way. So they want that thing,
Totally.
right? So we still have to put on that thing.
Only
And that's the
fancier,
demo session
shinier.
thing, and that's enough, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it
it's-
has to be zero stakes because
Yes, okay, fine.
because
Yeah.
if you stake anything, if say, oh, this is the proper competition at the flagship conference and yada yada yada, and then you rely on random people
No, that's
you've
the
never seen. The participant with
Right.
the system that
Yeah.
performed best in the expert system, in the expert thing, who's gonna lose the competition because they got a novice that did not understand the task, they're gonna be pissed.
Okay.
So
Keep
this
the
is
separate
So
prices.
let's not do prizes.
Not
let's
do it a
let's
competition,
let's
yeah.
do evaluation in terms of look, we have clear parameters that we control as much as possible, and then we can argue this is a scientific benchmark because these are the things we can measure. And the other thing is the visibility, community service, blah 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 event. Let's say, look, we do demo. Everybody who's interested can do the
Yeah.
demo.
Yeah.
I'm happy with
Yes,
And
it
you
is.
can have more novices do that because you
Yes.
can just
Yeah.
change after every
Yes,
task.
exactly.
Otherwise, you
And-
wouldn't change because if one novice has learned how to use the system, you want to keep
Yes.
them, but
Right.
Make it
there is
interesting
better-
by having a prize for every round for the best novice. Simple, right?
Yeah, something
This
simple.
query,
Candy.
hey,
Piece of candy.
congratulations, you get an
Piece
Easter
of
egg.
candy.
Congratulations, you
Yeah.
get
Piece of candy. Piece of
Yeah.
candy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ali's
Something.
painting.
Small, you know, small
Yeah,
whiskey,
yeah.
small whiskey,
Yes.
whiskey bottle.
Yes,
Something
exactly.
like this.
Or a bottle of whiskey every round.
No, yeah.
what's the budget of this? A bottle of whiskey every round?
No, our aim here, right,
You
is
get
to get
small,
people
yeah.
enthused.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
at the right part of the conference. It exists where everybody is going to be.
So
Right.
you know
Right.
what you can do? I did it for my students.
Well,
for something,
perception,
whatever.
doesn't matter,
You
something
buy
like
a
that.
bottle of wine and you buy chocolates, and then you ask them. You know, somebody doesn't drink. Somebody like, hey guys, the first one can choose. You know, like Moldovan wine, Georgian wine, or Italian. Plus there are chocolates. You know, you choose what you want. So somebody
Yeah.
picks.
Yeah, right.
And then hopefully
Yeah.
by the next year, we have more people in to take part.
So one thing you could do is if you start with a preparation session where people just practice.
Yeah.
Then this happens. You know, you could even do the novice session at the welcome reception. After that, there's the competition.
Yeah, fine.
By that time, you will, that gives you pressure to debug things. You have some practice. You get to see some types of tasks. You have to create more tasks. That's the disadvantage, but otherwise you could recycle them.
Yeah.
But that might bring people, if they have seen this at the reception, to come and
And
look
the
at it.
following
But,
year, the
yeah.
data set remains the same for the second year, and maybe we provide some baseline retrieval system that people can use via an API to make it easier. By the way, want to do this yourself? There's an API written by
there's systems out there, right?
Yeah.
There's at least half a dozen things that have been participating in VBS/LSC that you can get from GitHub if anyone would ever bother to look at them.
To make it easier, basically you would give them like a prepared data set for that system so that this is ready to use. And
It should be made as easy as possible. Okay, have we decided?
Not sure. No, I personally would rather do expert session and then
Yes.
let everybody try.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why
like
don't we do the expert session in
because-
the
This is also
workshop?
possible.
yeah.
Right? Expert session takes place in a workshop, right?
Wait a second. You talk workshop, grand challenge, and hackathon.
Yeah, we're doing. The way to get this. Look, we're in charge. The way to get this to work
Yeah.
is we make it do it.
But the grand challenge can be a competition with the experts, and then
the
there
grand
could
challenge
be
has got to be the asynchronous and the synchronous.
We were still
Right.
talking
Right.
about the
Workshop,
synchronous.
okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's fine.
the Grand Challenge should also have the classical Grand Challenge aspect, as in you actually get to present your stuff with at least a
Yeah.
poster.
Right.
And there's a leaderboard
Yes.
and blah blah blah.
This is
and
good,
all of
yeah.
this is happening before.
Yeah.
With the grand challenge, there is a workshop that takes place before the grand challenge where you actually come and use your practice.
Okay.
By workshop, you
Yeah.
mean an actual a co-located thing that happens in the workshop slot, or you mean a
It's
session
up to
in
us.
the yeah, but
in the
it,
workshop
it,
slot
it, it,
probably
change, it
makes more
changes the
sense.
logistics dramatically.
yeah.
Because those are fundamentally, from a proceedings point of view, from a conference setup point of view, those are two different
It can be a
things.
workshop that doesn't have proceedings, right? It's just an event. I don't.
No, but I mean, you're really talking about an extended conference session, right?
Yes, but that's not.
So it's kind of two sessions
the-
to the.
But the Grand Challenge track will
Yeah.
have multiple grand challenges,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
this is
This is
something
one
that
of
will
the
need.
grand
This
challenges.
is going to this is one of the grand challenges,
Now we
but
got
then
treated
it will
differently
be.
to everybody else.
But will presume well. That's the question, right? Is the Grand Challenge part different to everybody else, or is it just? Oh, by the way, there's this second half to the event that is not technically part of the Grand Challenge, but is another thing that happens interactively.
Yeah, let me turn the question around and say, let's say we get 3 grand challenges in. 2 are conventional. 1 is conversational search that requires an interactive element. We accept it, right?
Yeah.
We don't say no.
So some
Yeah.
grand challenges.
So it's
If
the
you
same.
look at this in multimedia grand challenges, there is this, well, I believe, longest running one. I don't know how they call it, social media prediction or something like that. It started with is it JD.com? I don't know who sponsored it. There is even significant money involved there, and there are teams. Does anybody know that one? It's pretty large at AC Multimedia, and it's been running for like maybe, I will say 5 to 10 years already, and they always have 2, 3, like they have a leaderboard somehow beforehand, so it's asynchronous, but also they have different ones. One is like social media prediction, that's like something like about popularity of the media, like mostly marketing type of task, and the other one is, I don't know, something, but they clearly have separate kind of scoring mechanisms and so on and so
Can you
on.
check how many Grand Challenges there were this year?
Something in the order of 10ish.
Should be on the website.
10ish.
I mean, the typical Grand Challenge is asynchronous, right? Where you do all the evaluation in advance and then you just present. Yeah,
3,
yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah,
No,
there's a lot of
10ish
challenges.
plus minus. Check them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if you try to make the interactive part during the Grand Challenge track of the conference, it has 2 disadvantages. I think in the sense that you don't treat the challenges in the same way how you allocate the time budget. That's one thing.
Yes.
And the other thing is, as you said, you want to present leaderboard or results. You don't know that or just know it 5 minutes before. So if you do that in a workshop session before, then you could have these things, and maybe you do. I don't know. That's proceedings wise. This is a logistics question because if you might want to update the paper as well.
But then logistically, it would be 3 independent things, right? And you say, well, there is a classic entry into Grand Challenge track that just presents Grand Challenge things. Whatever.
Yes.
There might be a non-archival workshop that happens on the day before the thing to actually do the interactive part of the experiment. And there is a sub-session in the demo track
exactly.
that has the things that just opens this up to everybody. And then it fits neatly in all the categories the conference has anyway. I mean, with a bit of, but we can do that. But at least it doesn't introduce something fundamentally new. So if somebody wants to do this next year or the year after or whenever, it doesn't completely break the format.
If we want asynchronous, we need to have an associated workshop as part of the proposal.
Also for synchronous, we need a workshop then.
Sorry, well,
it
doesn't even necessarily need to be a proper workship with separate calls and it's still part of the Grand Challenge. We just essentially need to have a room booked during the workshop part of the conference, so it doesn't interfere with.
I think like using the word workshop is probably we need to find another word that doesn't
I mean,
bring confusion with other workshops.
It's the interactive
But,
session.
Session.
But LSC is also a workshop.
LSC is a workshop.
Yeah.
We tried to get LSC as a special session, permanent special session, and there was pushback from ACM.
Yes.
But it's not a challenge. I mean, it's just a workshop.
Yeah, a workshop.
Yes.
But we would need publications.
Yes, but the publications would go into the Grand Challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's true.
Just needs
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the only thing is if you want to update your paper after the interactive session, then the proceedings would need to come after the conference.
But why should we do that?
No, not possible.
But there is no need to do that.
But also for the Grand,
you mean for the results, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
There could be an archive paper later on.
I mean, if you know the location of the results beforehand, you could basically put it into any paper. Live results would be there.
But if you want the proceedings available at the start of the conference, that the workshop would technically happen after.
But I'm saying yes.
To actually replace those papers with upgraded versions. Talk very nicely to April.
What do you mean?
Not needed. You know why not needed? We could do the same as you do for MMM, for example. And then after this is done, because kind of MM has this deal with Tom traditionally, we go for a Tom paper, kind of with everybody who participated as you don't like whatever. But it's already Tom paper with everybody who participated as an author, like it's going to be paper with lots of authors.
Yes. No, I think it's great. The only thing is that we are already overloaded with the other papers, right?
Okay. We'll have the results of the asynchronous run for the paper writing.
Yeah.
So we have that. It's just the interactive element that's problematic.
Maybe I mean, what we can say is that a requirement to participate in the interactive part is to. Well, let me finish my sentence. The requirement to participate in the interactive part is to participate in the same subtasks for the non-interactive because then your stuff is going to be evaluated beforehand. And then also you can do by the way, we also do this live. And then it can still be, it's archived sometime, somehow, whatever.
I have one question. Do we need to make it synchronous? Couldn't we just do it asynchronously like TrackWid always does with the ABS task? ABS, yeah. Because it can be interactive also if it is asynchronous. They have an interactive task, for example.
I mean, we have this system that is perfectly capable of running interactive evaluations asynchronously We just never used it,
Yes.
Yeah.
but it is there.
Yeah.
We could even do that.
It is more interesting, I think.
There are some. I mean, you're losing the whole visibility thing, but then
Yeah.
you can still move this to the demo session.
Yeah.
That would be an option. So then you can essentially run the whole thing beforehand.
Yeah.
You get your results back.
Yes.
You get your results back more or less immediately. You don't know how well you did in comparison to everybody else before everybody finishes, but you at
Sure.
least know how well you did.
Right.
I mean, Dres can do this.
And the results will be presented at the Grand Challenge.
Yes.
Yes.
Then
Yeah.
we don't
Yes,
need to
we
run a
can-
grand challenge except in the demo session, which is a fun
Yes.
thing.
And then it's essentially everybody who submits an interactive thing gets a free slot in the demo session if they want it.
Yeah.
People will be encouraged to do that because we can say, okay, there's going to be a best sub demo thing, whatever, for like a novice, something judged in some means to be determined. Just to give people a bit of an extra encouragement to actually show up and show their thing.
Yeah.
And then it would also fit neatly into the timeline. We just need to have a race instance that does this
Yeah.
and tech support and whatever, because people
Right.
cannot be bothered to do the Open API correctly. But I mean, we have the technology in place to do this sort of thing. That would probably simplify this.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's just a demo session. Fine.
A demo session, but the competition
Well,
in
challenge-
advance.
The challenge session, of
Yeah.
course, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just have
the
a
challenge session, the one that happens like 2 months early.
For example.
Yes.
No.
But
At the conference.
At the conference,
well,
there's
it's
just
No,
just,
no.
challenge
It's just
session.
a regular grand challenge session
Yeah.
that presents the
Yes.
results and
Yeah.
we discuss.
Yes, but
the
not
top
an
scoring.
actual competition that's taking place in the
No.
grand challenge.
Yes.
session.
No,
Yes.
That's happened in
there's a
September.
there's a
Yeah.
probably
Maybe.
before that
Yeah.
because people will need to submit their papers. So this
Right,
is
right. Must be
some
before.
summary.
The time frame isn't great.
No, the time frame isn't great.
No, but what you
who
could-
needs sleep, right? It's
But
there's-
what you could do is like you ask for papers before describing the systems and just leave like a quarter page for results, and then people
For the
update
camera ready.
this
Uh-huh,
for camera ready.
yeah.
That is the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I get that.
Because that's what TrackWid also does.
Yeah.
And it's
You
not that.
update your scores, but then you don't see everybody else's scores
Yeah.
yeah. such as you're at the event, which makes it more
Yes.
interesting to attend.
Okay. Can you provide like 10 sample queries
So
and put the
the
result in?
one thing that I
Yeah.
figured out from
Yeah.
that discussion is that I don't know if we can deliver that, but I really wanted things to be more interactive, engaging.
It still can be interactive. And engaging would be the demo session.
But when you say demo, so there is a demo session at
But-
Do you want a separate demo session or within the grand
no
challenge?
within the regular demo session.
But
Logistics
then
to be
we have
determined.
to really then synchronize with the demo chairs because you know
That's
lots of
okay.
demos were rejected actually this year. They rejected like 3
Yeah,
quarters. So
that's-
Yeah, but we can
Yes,
reserve
but demos,
that slot.
but demos this year
You
was
understand what I mean?
somehow.
Say,
Yeah.
oh, pending that you are accepted as a demo.
You'll be able
No.
to after all.
They don't need to be accepted as
No.
demo.
No, they
We
get
just
they get a
insert them into
Yeah.
the
they
demo
get a
session.
free slot in the demo
Yeah.
program, and the demo
Yeah.
chairs will have to deal with it.
Yes.
Because worst case, we're just gonna give them. So I mean, the way this is currently kind of penciled in the program is that one room would be permanently set aside for demos and the interactive art during the whole thing. Worst case, we just say, well, no, one of these days the demo chairs don't actually get to decide anything. All the demo slots are already taken up by this, and the rest of the slots are for the demo chairs to decide. But we can figure this out.
I mean, it might be good to do that anyway. To
If we
have-
can decide that, then
Yeah.
Meeting and somebody else will do it.
Demo chair.
You? You're
No, you're the
interactive art.
interactive art
No,
chair.
interactive.
But it might be anyway good to have it like a fixed time slot for that because
Yes, yes.
also people have to be there
I mean,
and you get more dynamics if more people are there at the same time.
And I mean, probably we will have a concurrent, a continuous slot for all the demos that
Yeah.
just goes through the whole program, and then just the demos rotate through. depending on how many demo submissions and whatever, right? To be determined. That room also works because there we
Is that
have,
the open space?
yes,
Yeah.
that would be the half of the big plenary.
There'll be lots of people hanging around because it's beside the bar.
Yes, and it's where we would anyway stream the overflow from the room next door.
It's a very busy
Thing,
place.
yeah. So this would work, and this would also have the best visibility, which is why
Yes.
I would also want to put the demos there. In contrast to this year, where they were behind 3 rows of poster walls.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
just one more question, just so we know that we covered everything. And the reason for not going with standard VBS/LSC format would be because we want asynchronous part as well. That's the main reason.
The main reason I think is that it's simpler in every aspect.
Okay. Don't know.
And it fits very well to the format that they have in the Grand Challenge. And
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it fits the format of the Grand Challenge. We would not force people to have an interactive system. They could choose what they have.
yeah,
You want to open
The-
a bit to more serious sort of crowd and
Possibly, yeah.
and there's not so much on-site stress
Yeah,
Yes.
because this
Yeah.
is always a real
Because there
problem.
might be 1 or 2 other things going on at the
Yeah.
same time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
this is definitely different at ACM Multimedia than it is at MMM or ACMR, which is like
Who are our
one
grand
Casual.
order of
challenge?
magnitude smaller.
Who?
Oh, what?
Who are
The
our
grand-
grand challenge chairs?
I don't remember
We've got to
exactly.
make sure we
Sit down.
intercept them so we don't reject our grand challenge on the basis.
Yeah.
I think it's been
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay, fine.
Ah.
Okay. Right, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
I think.
I'm not so sure.
We'll
What?
do. Okay, fine.
So some corruption, high level corruption caught on camera. Very good, very good, very good.
No, it's not that.
No, it's called bribery. Sorry.
No, these people already understand how these challenges run. So they will actually be
Yeah.
able to.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
because Min Shia takes part in LSE and VBS. He understands. Min Sundao understands. Who's one more person?
I don't know. I think only 2.
Werner is checking, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to check.
Graham is
And
workshops.
just finding the webpage is not particularly mobile friendly.
No, it's
because
not.
the-
It's not on the page yet.
Yeah.
The
It's not.
header.
Yeah.
These things are
Covers
not on the
half of the
webpage
screen.
yet. We have
Ah,
a magic internal document that has all the names.
okay, next
Those
week.
are not published.
Oh, that does
yet.
not help.
We need a web chair. We need a web
That
chair.
makes it worse. You can't.
We don't need the web chair. We just need a backend to actually publish
Yeah,
stuff
this
to
is-
this.
This is a mess.
When we wanna eat, maybe.
I'm happy that we've done enough. We can summarize this again tomorrow morning. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Figure out the hackathon then too.
There were more things on the agenda, but sure, whatever.
Hackathon.
Hey, tell us.
What was on the agenda for today technically was figure out also all the data augmentation things which would feed into the hackathon, plus all the collections for. Now we know the set of sensors we have. Now, what would we want to do for any future iterations, and how would people possibly think of could this be done? This is not necessarily something that needs to be discussed now, even though it was in the agenda, but then technically it was in the agenda for this morning. So, the
So what does Castle
agenda-
2 look like?
Yes.
So too.
Let's assume that Castle 1 has not been a disaster. It's been very successful. Except chicken. Well, with the exception of the second fridge, Castle was pretty successful.
So far the second fridge was the biggest fail.
Yes.
It also would be the best
Well,
if we
I
kept it
realized the
outside,
brand is
outdoor.
called Hot Point. So
Outdoor
why do we expect it to
No,
get
no,
cold?
I feel they did not understand the assignment.
I think for Castle 2, it would be great to have less of a focus on food
Yeah.
and
Too much
preparation
food.
of food and logistics of food.
But that's what
That's what literally
brings
makes
us
it
all
cool.
together.
And that's
I
what.
feel like, I mean, it can certainly be an aspect. I feel like it's been exaggerated this time.
A little bit too much, yeah.
It's perfect for the hackathon.
Yeah.
though.
Maybe just one dinner
So
per
if you-
day.
And then do
once per
takeouts.
day,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
do takeouts for the rest.
I mean, ideally there would just be more people, and then
Yeah,
you
more
would
people
have
cooking.
fewer people in per. You would have a smaller fraction of people involved
More
in
people.
the
But then,
house.
but then
Right.
the cooking organization is going to be messy with the shopping
No,
list and
because
stuff.
then you would have
With the except-
people
yeah.
who are explicitly in charge of things, which we did not have. It's, oh yeah, everybody does something, and then the people who do the shopping and the people who actually do the cooking are not the same people, and information gets lost along the way, and nobody knows what's going
Well, I
on.
think we did a good job, right? We had almost everything we needed. We got almost everything right.
So,
Well,
so
I think
I
we
would-
did well with
I
what we
would-
had.
Very
but
well, I
it's
think.
what are you saying that we should do?
I would argue the whole thing was well done, but there's a comma in there.
I would say very well, even.
Yeah.
Okay, people didn't get the joke. It's fine.
I got it.
So
Well done.
just as an example, how do we do it on a boat? Very light breakfast in a sense, spreads.
We
cheeses
could do
and
lighter
all that.
breakfast and Irish breakfast.
Then lunch is
Yeah.
really cooking. Evenings we always do in a restaurant. So
If we had gone to a
You
restaurant,
are aware that this is not a boat. This has different
the
boundary
challenge
conditions.
is if we'd gone to a restaurant every night, we would have added an extra 3,000 or 4,000 euros to the cost.
yeah, no, no.
Right? We couldn't do it.
It could be on on our own.
On our own budget, yeah.
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 I mean, the other logistics here is there is no restaurant nearby that's open.
That's why we chose this castle, because it was so far from everything. There's nowhere
Yeah.
to go, right?
There is another. I mean, another option is basically if it's possible to add a couple of people who do some of the cooking.
Just do the
explicitly.
cooking.
Just do the cooking. So
Some
that
cooks.
would be one option. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yes, also that process you'll see later on.
That would be actually
is
good.
also valuable as a data. So people
Absolutely,
do
of
something
course,
together.
absolutely.
One
So
does
you-
this,
you-
another one does
you
that,
do
another
not-
one does that.
you do not
Where are the
want-
things you open?
The
you lift them.
disagreements as part of it is all part of the data set.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but the thing is that just the whole everybody does everything somehow, and nobody's responsible for anything, and nobody's in charge, and nobody knows what's going on because
Okay,
everybody
I
does
admit,
everything.
If we had Alice here, we'd all be on time, right? Alice couldn't make it, right? We need an Alice.
Possibly, we
With
just
a clipboard going
we
around.
just, we just
Klaus,
need
get over there.
Yeah.
That's what we
Yeah.
need.
So basically, you're saying So that's actually a point. You need a manager,
We need a manager.
essentially, who is not
yes taking care of
that.
of the logistics, of the
Yes.
details, of all the goings on.
Right.
You need a
Yes.
Jennifer to organise in advance, you need an Alice to organise when we're here.
Yeah.
Or equivalent.
or something that floats over, right? Yeah. Okay, but so that's maybe slightly less emphasis on cooking and then some better organization. So that's a couple of points.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And what about technical aspects?
But
2
actually,
years from now, maybe the hardware could be.
This wasn't too
Different.
bad, right?
yeah.
It's not
Actually,
too bad.
I
I'm
thought
quite
it would be
comfortable.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worked really well.
Middle of the day, my head was hurting quite a bit, but it's getting better.
But
That was something else. That was the second piece.
Yeah, well, I think the
No,
it's
but I
a bit of
mean,
a pressure
the-
cooker. Let's
it's
say.
it's decent. It's not great, right? So
Yeah.
there.
No, and no complaints
But
because
if we were stuck with what we already
exactly.
happen to have
No.
in a closet in DCU,
Yeah.
right? We didn't have the
I
budget.
think it's a.
If ACM give
Yeah.
us 20,000 next
Yes.
time or 30,000,
Yes.
sure, we'll do something much nicer.
Yeah.
We made it work.
Yes, maybe just
40,000,
one,
50,000.
just one comment to what Björn said about the cooking. I think it's a good idea to have dedicated people cooking, but after
Not all
thinking
the time.
about it, I think it's very nice that we had here so many different dishes done by different people. Then we could look up them later on, and also it's a lot about life, right?
Yes,
and we do
no,
live vlogging.
Absolutely. So
Improvisations. constant
I would
improvisation,
clearly vote against like the catering aspect of it.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so.
But it needs, in general. I mean, we had very little in terms of an agenda, which in some aspects is good. It gives people the freedom to do this. There needs to be more agenda,
Maybe,
like in
yeah.
general, right? And people behind the scenes are making sure that the agenda can actually happen, because now everybody who runs around doing things is also so there's no behind the scenes
Right.
support.
You need a
for
production crew.
Yes,
Yeah,
essentially, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of things, also for various setupy things, that just takes time and resources that
Right.
we did not really have this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, if there were the option to do this with a larger crowd of people, in a larger location, it would probably make sense to.
But are you thinking, go back to the schedule we had from 3 months ago we didn't implement? That was, everything was half an hour blocks. And for this half an hour you're playing
Maybe
chess.
half an
with-
hour.
But it doesn't need to be.
Something
It doesn't need to
in
be half an hour blocks, but essentially really clear and strict assignments. As in, look, we have a workshop part. This is this time window. We have lunch. Lunch always happens at this time, which necessitates this time block
I guess
before. And it's those people. Those really know what they're gonna have, right? Everything there's like checklists and stuff.
Yeah.
This time is dinner.
Right.
This necessitates this.
We're not that far off it.
No. But basically,
But
having somebody.
it wasn't really implemented like this because it's oh yeah, but let's do this an hour late. Oh no, let's swap these two
But I
things.
still
Oh no,
think
let's do this.
that is actually okay. 'Cause
Life-
we are still having.
And life is also chaotic sometimes,
No,
right?
but this is not supposed to be.
If
Like,
we
this
had
is supposed to well,
No, yeah.
Right?
If we
But,
had had an
uh,
Alice equivalent here with a checkbox saying, okay, you have to do the cook now, it's time to cook, that would have been okay.
It also means if you had somebody who could basically run off to the store or drive off to the
yes,
store. Like daily.
some fixers
Yeah,
essentially.
the daily basically.
Yeah.
So what do we need for tomorrow?
Yeah. Like if one of us had
Yes.
been one of us three had been a helper, not a
Yes.
participant,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was fine.
It's not
Or you
much
can learn how
of,
to drive.
but it's really there is somebody who's not part of the experiment who is running the show.
So
I
need
think
a
that's
manager.
kind of the
We
main
need a
thing.
manager.
I think this
We
is.
don't need managers. We need normal people. Alex.
Yeah. No, yeah. We need somebody normal to manage us.
Essentially, it needs a production crew. It needs a
Yeah.
director behind the
Right.
scenes
Yes,
who's
yes,
actually
yes.
on top of everything that's happening.
And that basically has authority over the participants.
Yes.
I think that's kind of
No,
the.
that's true.
When you're taking part in experiments and having authority, it's a problem.
And also, if there's no clear schedule, it is also difficult to coordinate things because then it's I need to take care of my email. I might
Right.
as well do this now because nothing's going on.
Right.
And then people disappear at random
yes,
points
yes.
in time because there's no coordination between
Yeah.
them.
True.
And also, if you say, well, now we could do this, and then but 3 people are missing. Okay, now then we can't. And then
Right.
it just spirals, right?
Yeah.
We have to, if that's the case, we have to release a schedule well in advance. So
Yes.
I don't know. Vern had to go out for a meeting this morning
Yeah.
about 10 o'clock.
Right.
That we have to know that can only happen at 11.
Yeah.
Right?
But a person who has control of things, basically there's going to be fairly minor things that come up. You have this extra meeting that wasn't really scheduled. You have one more meeting, and there's and somebody can basically adjust this, and then the day before
Release a
here's a new schedule for tomorrow.
We need a printer. I know. I thought about buying a printer.
Or need an information screen. That's alternatively.
Okay,
That's a good.
An iPad to display.
So-
But I think the key is to separate, out whoever is running the show, the producer, right, from the participants.
Yes.
And
People, we did
So-
most of the things we were
so-
supposed to do, no?
I think we did really well.
so I should
can make it
make
better.
very clear that
I
the
think
helpers
so
have
too.
been excellent.
Yes.
So this is not a judgment on that.
No, but it's like saying I expected a major disaster in all aspects, apart from an occasional camera failure that happened to some people we don't want to name. There were no major disasters.
We were inevitably not going to get this fully right the first time.
No.
I think
Yeah.
nobody has run away.
Literally, there was positive atmosphere all the time.
There was,
People
it was
went,
good fun, right?
you know, these social experiments you've probably seen on YouTube going wrong.
Part of the challenge was figuring out how to do this better
Yes.
next time.
Yeah.
But I think this is a really good lesson. I agree with Luca on this part. I think that would make it more productive.
More people,
Yes.
bigger castle, and a manager.
So
But you know
Yeah.
what? This can be
I'm not
also-
sure about the more people as part of the experiment.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe 12
More
rather
helpers.
than 10.
Yeah.
Because you get more options with groups of 3 and 4
Yes,
if you have
I mean,
10,
also
12
in-
people.
But if it gets much larger, it
Yeah,
also adds
exactly.
more
The
challenges.
only,
Yeah.
the only reason why, can I add one point in, why we didn't have more helpers was because there's a training week on for some of our
Sure.
PhD students from the group who couldn't come.
Sure.
And Robin couldn't come because she moved house last week. And Leeting isn't back.
Right.
And it was
And thesis.
Thesis. Two people handing up their thesis this week.
Yes.
This was why we missed.
Understood.
We actually
Understood.
wanted 4 helpers.
Understood.
And we bought a
Bought.
we rented a house.
Yes.
So
But in any case, the role that you're describing would have been missing.
yeah. Oh, always yes.
Yes. So and I agree that this is kind of a key
We need
aspect of this.
And I mean, this
I'm
is
completely in
the
agreement.
a coordinator,
yes.
Coordinator.
on-site coordinator.
Yeah.
And that's somebody who basically has authority over
Yeah.
the experiment.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
it's like having
who sets the agenda,
It's
who
like-
says
yeah,
no, now
yes.
you do
It's
the
a very similar problem in sports when you have a player coach, somebody who's playing on the field, they cannot manage. They need somebody on the sideline to run the show.
Yeah,
It's impossible to manage on the field.
a coach.
Yes.
So
Because even if you're a coach, you can run the sessions before, but you need somebody.
Yeah,
Live.
I know.
yes. But I mean, essentially, I guess this whole thing was much more ad hoc than it
Yes.
ideally would have been, which is fine. It was built with much less budget than it
should have.
has any right to work with.
Yeah.
For which so far so good, right? So all of this, yes, absolutely. But I mean,
And-
it's very much also more people, also more activities. More activities in the sense of, we kind of try to make it work by, what can we get? Oh, we can get a few things to put stuff together. Oh, and we can get painting supplies, right? It was literally like that. It's not a
Yeah, it's more planning as well. More
top down, thought out. It's really more of can we throw more activities at the thing to make it more interesting, to make it
We
more
should have a
diverse?
laptop of copyright-free movies.
Right.
We thought about it, we got some, but we never set it up.
Right.
So there's lots of
Same
things to
thing
fix.
with music.
Music.
I guess.
Maybe,
Like a,
maybe
kind of music
longer
room.
activities as well, because most of these activities can be done
Yes.
like in 5
Yes.
minutes.
Also, I mean, the weather was mostly not cooperating, so there wasn't a lot of chance
So-
to do outdoorsy
Right.
things.
Yeah.
This is just well.
But a house next time with a bigger garden that we can actually do things outside in.
A treadmill to
Exercise.
exercise so that people can be sane.
Sanity is overrated.
The reason why we're here is because this was the only house we could afford.
Yeah.
We'll fix that part.
I could have got you a castle. You'd have all had to pay for your own flights and everything else. Right? So it's different, right?
Yeah.
We will have spent over 10,000.
Yeah, despite all the things that you mentioned, I think it went incredibly well so far.
So far,
So,
so
many
good,
things
right?
to learn,
It's-
but
it's nothing is on fire.
Like nothing has.
Yeah.
Nobody in our community has tried to do this before.
Yeah,
There
right.
might
The
have
only
been
time
a
I've
reason.
ever seen this is ubiquitous computing 10 years ago, where they put some cameras up in a house and people went in and did some ADLs right for a weekend. This is far in excess of what that was.
Speaking of food, I think I have to go to.
Check the potatoes there. They were still rock solid. So
Increase your step count.
What do we
take a bit.
say?
But this is one aspect. The other aspect was we have the sensors we could get on short notice, mostly because you happen to have them lying around. This again, it worked. So far so good. We ran into some minor technical issues for various weird reasons. But this is certainly not the best setup to do this sort of thing, right? So I guess and this is not necessarily something we absolutely need to collect now, but maybe something to think about. Assuming infinite time and infinite budget, what would be the thing we actually wanted to do?
Right.
Because then we can go down from what of this is actually feasible to do?
Yeah. And I mean, so there's a question: what if the price of admission, let's say, had been to buy some kind of equipment? So everything is paid for except you need to bring your own set of goggles or whatever, right? Would people run into trouble with this?
Could be there.
Okay.
You have to check how you like them.
Just
Yeah, I don't know that.
It's
So
probably
Yeah, it's hard to
Also,
know.
there's a different
Well, it's
attitude
probably
if you
fine.
bought your own equipment. Then you
No,
come
no, it's
in,
probably
right?
fine.
Like, I don't
That's-
want to do that type
Shall I
of
turn
thing.
it off?
Yes.
What do you
Also,
want?
you have to keep it as a
Turn it off,
closed.
turn it off.
Yeah, yeah.
Somehow, it's a
Mhm.
community of people.
Right.
They need to
Inherently,
cool down a bit.
everybody trusts everybody in this room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's even
Right.
fundamentally what we need to have to get
Uh-huh.
this to work.
Right.
Mm.
But if it was a €500 entrance fee and you get to keep your hardware afterwards, I wouldn't have any problem doing that.
No.
Yeah, probably.
and I think probably it's easier than like paying for like the travel, because it's easier to squeeze in some
Yes.
hardware budget somewhere than
You can convince that it's needed for some other project. and
than
it's-
having
yes, yes.
like official requests
Yes,
for
yes,
travel and
yeah,
things like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
No, it's just like,
If there is a thing out there you can buy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
If
No,
it's
I-
like we
yeah.
need to MacGyver it
This
ourselves,
is
then
still
it might
as
be
good
much
an
more.
option as
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
ever going to
yeah.
get it.
You're right. Yeah, no,
Something
that,
else.
it's just something to keep in mind, so that if there is something that we desire,
Like, look at the challenges we had with this.
Yeah.
Battery life. We went through numerous different options for batteries. I have 36 GoPro batteries in DCU. Right? We bought double of everything, right?
Right.
More. We even tried double A battery packs wired through a voltage regulator directly into it. That didn't work, right? We had to go with this approach. Down there we're overheating. We even tried fans inside. There was a huge amount of effort to get to what actually you're wearing right now, which actually works. So even if we did this again in 18 months' time, there's probably nothing better than this still that we can actually do.
now there's only started to look already a very small thing which would be like a belt clip for the power pack, which is probably more convenient.
They were cheap.
Yeah,
They were €5
true,
each.
but a belt clip is probably not so expensive either.
You're also not using, right? I just have in
Well,
my
look,
pocket. Yeah.
We'll collate.
I
get
yeah.
back.
haven't
Yeah.
space in my pocket.
But I mean,
Okay.
this is still assuming, right? This needs to be done on short-ish notice with off-the-shelf hardware.
yeah.
So assuming this was not a requirement.
I mean, throwing in another thought. I mean, it's of course putting another angle to the data set. It could also be interesting to just give everyone a different type of device. So you would have like a heterogeneous data set. It causes other problems, but it could also.
Aha, this is interesting. Yes,
Already getting this in.
yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it could also be interesting to
Yes,
like
yes, yes.
See what you can get out of different types
brain
of
sensors.
devices.
You have to shave your head before coming.
If Graham was able to make it,
BCI is actually on the
BCI
list.
cap.
Yes. BCI is definitely on the list.
We could do powerful BCIs. No problem.
Well,
Expensive.
no problem is well. There's
Financial
a whole cascade of problems, but we could probably make it work.
We could put a BCI cap on everybody in the morning time. Now,
Not
your hair
with the
might
time
be
budget we
pretty
had to prepare
smelly.
this, but it's
We'd need
Yeah.
Graham Healy's equivalents, right?
no. We just need Graham to actually. he was
Not equivalent.
He was
Graham
not.
is
He
on holiday
was, he
this
was
week.
not available this week. Otherwise, he would have been here.
Cause some trouble.
Possibly, yes.
Sneaking out for pints. I would love
Is
eye
this
tracking.
slander already, or
It's Graham. It's Graham.
you're not?
Eye tracking on the glasses would be very nice.
Eye tracking would be very nice. Yes, yes, yes.
What is actually the eye tracking experiment? I still don't understand the purpose.
That was-
Reading
Just
experiment.
gathering data for a reading task.
But
There's a demo at AC Multimedia.
what is the research question?
For the eye tracking,
There's
what's
not
the
really a
research
big
question?
research question here. We had to use it because we brought the hardware to here.
Ah, okay.
You know what's also cool? I heard from our forensics friends what I kind of like these days is from data to activities. So basically, which kind of activities could you reconstruct from the sensors, like mobile, if you have it in a back pocket, in a backpack, in a front pocket, can you reconstruct the
Yeah, but-
activity based on
I
it?
mean, that's basically what you can do with the Fitbit, right?
Yeah, but most people in criminal cases don't wear Fitbits, you know, like
Yeah.
most people have a mobile somewhere,
Yeah.
like in a backpack, in a,
Yeah.
which kind of activity can you
We could
recognize?
have provided everybody with a cheap Android phone
Yeah.
running sensors
Yeah.
next time. That's another thing for our helpers to keep charged, but we can do that.
Well, you will get an IMU stream. I hope.
Basically, we could because now one of the few sources of funding that's going to remain is going to be the security fundings. So that's another thing to think about. If we kind of make ourselves relevant to them.
Right.
So what do we say to somebody who says, "I'd like to run this experiment myself"?
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Does anybody think we shouldn't have done it?
No, I think it's great. I would do it again.
I would do it again. Absolutely.
We
will
still
do
have
it
one
again.
more day.
I'm assuming that we will end up doing this again at some point, 18 months or 24 months down the line. Somewhere. It doesn't have to be here. It can be anywhere. Bangford.
I'd prefer 18 over 24 because that would land it in summertime.
Or 20 or 30.
Doubles the price of
Or 30.
Like
Or 30, right? Yeah, also fine.
This is €3,000 for the week. It's 5,000 or 6,000 in the summertime.
Right.
But it gives you the outdoors.
It does give you the interest. Look,
Which are
next time
much
we go back to
larger.
ACM, we're asking for 20, 25,000.
Ask for more. They're gonna scope it down.
Yeah, we asked for 35.
Yeah.
We got 10 or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I mean, there's a chance, I would say, that this is, if this is successful, then it's
We certainly have the right to go
possible
back
to
and
get
ask
a
for more.
higher
No.
grant next time.
Yes.
I would
Like,
say.
I think we've done a lot with
Yes.
10,000. So more,
Because then you can be fairly concrete about what those extra funding would buy you compared to what you would have now.
No.
I think that's, for example, better weather.
Better.
A few $1,000s.
Quite expensive to purchase.
Yeah, I know.
But
But
then
I mean, but
make it a
that buys you
joint-
other activities, right?
You make it a joint geoengineering project.
Yeah. No, I mean you can at least buy the odds of better weather, right?
That for sure.
Yes. So timing, location combined to that.
Nice.
What about some device
Klagenfurt.
Less
people
in summer.
can manually
Yeah.
Would be
Yeah,
pretty.
I said if you want
Or in
something
winter.
like here,
remove or something like that.
Yes, but not for better weather.
Inclusive of skiing,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes.
that's what I said. If you want a setting like here, very secluded, we could go to some hut.
With a
in the
director,
Alps.
we can-
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes, yes.
Exactly.
What
That would be cool.
But skiing
is a thing
That would work.
activity with
Everybody gets a phone.
empty slopes.
Yeah,
some-
and
Empty slopes.
That's a problem.
You cannot recognize any other people.
Mostly
There's an
true.
application only on this
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
lets you log things.
Mostly
That
true.
maybe even prompt you from.
So there's one
from
slope
time
where
to
you
time for
absolutely need a
things.
helmet to enter.
That gives you a web
Which
browser
one?
looking things
No,
up.
just saying you
Yeah.
agree with
So
the
that people can do
organizer of the
more
skiing
things.
area.
Oh, yeah, you mean.
But for one
Yeah,
slope,
yeah,
the
yeah.
helmet is required.
Yeah, but I
It's
mean,
not been possible.
yeah. Everybody has a helmet in Austria. Everybody.
Maybe I should
Yeah.
have done this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
People will have a lot.
You could have done. Why didn't you do it that way?
Okay.
Right.
Very good, very good.
Anything on that?
Did we
agenda that is
answer
still-
your question, Luca?
Yeah.
More or less.
More or less.
So what's
Some
up
stuff
next?
you can
We
answer.
still have one more workshop tomorrow
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to revise everything,
What time
understand
do we
everything,
do it?
and
Okay,
talk
have to make
about
that
the.
Is there a task for somebody to summarize the discussion now?
We need to write a
tomorrow?
SIGMM records paper.
We do need to write something more.
Yeah.
I can summarize it now for tomorrow.
Yes. So just take.
I'll be a very quick summary tomorrow morning. Yes.
So what
Yeah.
Alex's question I think was important in the spirit of what Lucas said. What time tomorrow?
What time for breakfast and then?
Breakfast at 9.
Okay.
Workshop at 10.
Okay.
No.
Yes, yes, yes.
Lunch.
But for real this time.
Oh no. Lunch.
Lunch?
Lunch.
No,
I will.
lasagna.
I will make lunch.
Breakfast at 8.
No,
Oh.
breakfast.
Okay,
it's
light breakfast at 9 that doesn't require any cooking because we don't have anything left to cook.
We have plenty of cheese.
We have
So
a lot
we need to
of-
basically
we have a lot of
prepare the
stuff.
We have
Cheese
butter.
lunch now.
No, I
We
will
have
do it tomorrow.
cornflakes.
We
Do
even have
tomorrow.
oats for those
We
who
also
want to.
have-
It takes about 2 hours.
Just
Yeah,
pudding
yeah.
or whatever this is, and
Right, but,
Christmas
you-
pudding things. And
How about
But
everyone has their
the
own
second
breakfast
hour is
any
oven,
place?
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody,
Yeah.
everybody make your own
Nine for
breakfast.
workshop.
So the
Nine for
work
workshop.
the lasagna basically the second hour of preparation is
Yeah.
inside the oven.
Yeah. So I
When
will.
we do
That's
the
workshop
workshop
time.
at that point.
I will. Yeah. Exactly. So.
because originally the idea was to prepare the lasagna today and
Yeah.
tomorrow.
No,
you
but
just
I
put it
switched
into the
this
oven.
idea.
But
Yeah.
this is.
But we can basically, I mean, can it be prepared in parallel to breakfast?
So I think we're doing the workshop.
Maybe
at
not.
I could.
Immediately after breakfast.
I would also like to have breakfast, and then I can do. Yes.
No,
Immediately after
Immediately
breakfast.
after.
We just throw a bunch of people at it. We finish it in half an hour.
So two.
Well, with the
Yeah,
pasta cooking with.
But what
Now
is?
tomorrow.
Could we have
Okay.
this
Yeah.
at
Thank you.
breakfast?
That would be helpful. Yeah.
Like no breakfast and a brunch, which is lasagna.
Yeah.
And somebody wants to get food at
Oh my God.
9 o'clock. There's plenty of food.
That is an alternative. Yes.
There's the pressure on me in the morning already.
Brunch at 11.
No, you had to cook.
Right, followed by the workshop.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense when you go early already to the salmon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we start preparing the lasagna maybe already at 8.
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
That's fine. And you can snack while you're doing this.
Yeah.
And we
Okay.
can have some
You eat
cornflakes or
uncooked pasta and then.
whatever we try want to do, right?
Yeah.
And then we have a breakfast followed by a salmon followed by steaks. And then we're back not too late tomorrow night because someone like Klaus has to leave at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we see tomorrow what the weather forecast says. If it says
Oh, the weather
roads-
forecast is what I read earlier on.
Yeah, I mean,
110 kilometre per
Yeah.
hour winds,
yeah.
sea breaching the
Can you
coast,
change your
flooding,
flight?
Oh, really?
disaster,
No.
Storm
Oh.
Daniel, whatever it's called.
That's Friday or
Friday
and Saturday. Okay.
So
Yeah, I have
you.
an idea if there
Cliffs
is-
of Moher, not so much.
Closed, orange level weather warnings.
Okay.
So you think
How
that
will it is?
that flights will be delayed or cancelled?
No, that's in the west, not the east.
Kawa.
Okay.
How will it is?
Okay.
Hovel.
Yes.
We
However.
can all go to the hovel, no problem. There's no toilet there, but that's okay. It's a hovel.
There's lots of trees.
Lots of trees.
Yes.
Excellent. But
And we have
outside.
toilet paper here.
Excuse me.
Storm.
Yeah. But then, you know, any traces of whatever you do will disappear very quickly.
Look where someone else is compared to the
Yeah.
direction.
So don't stay downwind, for sure.
So you're probably not doing the
How will it
cliff.
is?
Hey.
How will it is?
Are you still doing the cliff?
No,
let's
it's
see
gonna
on-
be impossible,
Let's see
basically.
on Saturday morning. What
Yeah. It's like
They do
it's
tend to overestimate the danger.
the way
I mean,
if that
orange
is
in Dublin is
if
nothing,
that is
but I don't
reality,
know
then
about
it's
here.
impossible.
Orange in Dublin is nothing, but I don't know about here.
I think it hits
No,
here.
here orange is a proper weather, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, let's make a decision on Saturday morning.
City
We can have
city
breakfast.
weather is always much milder than
But it's Klaus
proper
will have
coast
to be
weather.
a bit more cautious in driving for the first hour.
But no,
Once you get to Galway, you're fine.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
on
no
the main
problem.
roads, yes,
Or-
yes.
I
I
thought
have the
you would
GPS
be
ready.
driving.
Oh.
If there's ever
Oh, you gotta
incident
drive.
on the M50 around
I think I can.
not getting to the
Yeah,
airport.
we can decide.
You might also pre-download the local map, the GPS. On,
There will be
on
points on the
Google Maps.
M50 where you can get off the
No, I have Google Maps with me.
Yeah, but if you pre-download the local map, then you basically, even if you run, if you're not well connected
Uh-huh.
in this area,
Uh-huh.
you can still
Yeah.
coordinate.
Yeah.
So at least until you hit the highway.
Yeah.
And even on the highway, if you
But
hit
until
the
the
M50
highway
and
is
there's an
very
accident,
simple. It's one road you
it
follow.
can just stop.
Yeah.
Until you
stop for
have
an hour,
something
just a
wrong.
single
right?
ring road.
Yeah, but until
you're
it's
right.
one way, it's pretty
You've
simple.
got
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
keeping
Yeah.
an eye on the.
So that would be a problem for us, yeah.
What?
You would miss your flight.
Yeah.
If
If there is a congestion,
Yes.
yeah, or an
There are
accident.
trees on the M55.
Lots of trees.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, in any way.
No,
But I
we
think
don't-
Galway so far inland, it's not going
But
to
we
be so
don't
bad there.
need much of
Always fine.
M50,
Yeah.
right?
Just
If we
this-
drop you
This
again,
area.
we didn't use much of M50 because if we
Yeah,
drop
true.
Ali again, then
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
You use about half the
DCU.
M50.
Mm.
Oh, to Finglas, yeah. Then you can go the back road to the airport.
Yeah,
You'll be fine.
yeah.
And you will be also
In
with us, yeah,
DCU.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
in
There's not so
DCU.
many
See you.
roads here.
It
a
is
short
in,
stretch on M50
on our
until-
way.
So like,
Finglas and
if
then
Yeah, there's only
so
two
Dublin
exits
City
to go, right?
is like this, right?
Yeah.
And from Finglas you can go to the airport.
And
Yeah.
Finglas is there, M50 is there, right? That's
But I
my place.
expect- I think we
DCU
will
is
go to
here,
Havel with you.
and the airport is
But
there.
that will be
Okay,
the
so
same.
this is not a big
Right,
Yeah.
disappointing.
extra
Yeah.
route.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is to finish,
yeah.
the bathroom is to finish,
No,
the
no,
water
no.
is not.
Yeah, we can do a little bit of work if you want. Some tiling,
Damn, I should have ordered a skip in advance.
you get the toilet installed.
The toilet is there, he just hasn't turned on the water.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
where to turn it on.
Pierre
If
will
you
do
can
it.
find the water,
Oh,
we
to
can use
turn
the
it on?
toilets. Yeah.
Well, we can bring water now.
You have to-
That actually works, right? I mean, you
Well,
can
I've never-
flush
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
water.
I
Yes, yes,
suppose the workshop is done.
That's what you do with the.
yes.
Workshop's
Okay,
done.
so can we watch a movie?
Let's watch a movie.
So on your laptop?
Is there something?
I would like to watch Elephant's Dream.
Elephant Stream.
Yeah.
Is it open source?
Yeah, it's an open source movie.
I don't know. I want to see it. I think I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, I don't.
I have.
I did not.
Not so often end to end, but I
Let me
think
go to the
I've
bathroom
seen
first.
so many stretches
Right.
of it.
But there is another one, right?
Logan
There,
cover.
there are
Yeah, there is
No.
also the what's it called? Elephant.
Elephant Stream, and then there is I don't I know I don't mean Elephant Stream. I mean the other one.
Big Bugs Bunny.
Big Bugs Bunny and Big Bugs Bunny, and then there's another one. There is even another one.
I'm lost, so don't look to me.
There are a few open source movies.
Yeah, there's a number of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Big Bugs Bunny is also very well known.
Yeah.